And then the doctor said, hey, honey, you cannot have any more children. I was 37. Yeah, 37 at the time. You can't have any more children. And I was like, oh, wow. And so at that time, right up after that happened, they did the sterilization thing. And so I felt a loss. And I was like, oh, wow. To have the right to be able to reproduce taken away from you was something that I wasn't expecting. I was always saying, I won't have any children. I won't have any children. No more children. But to have it taken away was something I wasn't expecting. And it hit me hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't have any more children even if I wanted to. And so I had that experience. And then maybe not even, I want to say, like I said, 4 years later, then they say, hey, because I was getting squamosal cells for cervical cancer, I was as high risk for cervical cancer, not once, but twice. And they was like, hey, you know, we need to go ahead and take your organ out. You have a hysterectomy because you're a high risk and you've not had it but once but twice. And they, you know, cervical cancer is the silent killer. You never know. You know, by the time you don't go in for your 6-month checkup or your 3-month checkup, you can already be in stage 3. I was already in stage 2, you know, still young. So then here I am, like, okay, again, faced with now you're going to take out my whole organ, my whole cervix, everything. I'm like, there's nothing. Even if I wanted to see if there was hope to reverse the process of a fertilization, now I don't have anything at all. And so I experienced a loss that I thought was so traumatic to me that I did not understand, that I felt some kind of way that was worse than when I didn't even have, when I got my ability to not have children taken away from me. Now I have my organ taken out, you know, away from me. And so now when we talked about the mother room and the presence of talking to my body and understand, I didn't understand then, but my body was mourning. I was mourning. I didn't realize why I was mourning, but I was mourning, and it hurt, you know, it hurt like no tomorrow. And I had no one to talk to. I had no one to, you know, help me to understand and help me through this process of this loss, of this grief that my body had experienced. And then talking to you, having this book, then I started to reflect on the things that I had experienced. And then I saw your question, and I was like, yeah, this is what I was feeling. This was my journey. And so at that time, I did something just recently between last night and tonight, reading your questions. I said, well, we're going to actually have a farewell. Like, you know, I'm gonna say my words of peace to my body. Like, you know, I miss you. I'm so sorry for the things that happened to you. I mourn the loss. I know that it was, you know, very traumatic to you, like as in my experience to my body. You know what I mean? Wrapping my mind around it to become whole again, to understand it. And so it doesn't make me sad anymore, but I love the fact that it hit right on time to come on for you for this IG Live, because I know there might be somebody else like that that probably went through the same thing that I went through, but don't have a clue as to how to have this conversation, to have that mother wound conversation, to have that self-awareness in their body, to be able to have that, you know, peace when it's all said and done. Now I'm at peace about it.
More inspired content, holistic products, technologies, and tools follow at Real Raw Momma on Instagram and TikTok. Tune into the Real Raw Momma Podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms and visit embracewhoyouare.earth. And I want you to remember, you're the chosen one. We all are.